This is an open public video for Allie Beth Stuckey. If you don't know who Allie Beth Stuckey is, she's on Twitter with almost 350,000 followers. You can check her out at alliebethstuckey.com. She's the host of Relatable, a podcast and video podcast as well. I'm going to look at a video she made where she addressed Julie Roys and Pastor John MacArthur and the quote-unquote scandal of the Gray family. I wanted to just address her specifically. Allie, I'm sorry. I couldn't send it to you on Twitter. You don't follow me, so I can't send you a private message. But on Twitter today, I noticed one of the gentlemen that I associate with, David Morrells, said that, hey, you made a video about what was going on with Julie Roys, and you said you didn't know her, but you read her article. This is her website, so I just want to share some information with you and your audience so that you can be educated, so to speak, as to what's going on. Julie Roys has an ongoing investigation on John MacArthur. This is her website, and if you click on that, she has 48 articles about John MacArthur. 48. She has been on a rampage writing articles about John MacArthur ever since John MacArthur told Beth Moore to go home. Remember that at the Shepherd's Conference a few years ago? 48 hit pieces, seriously, hit pieces on Pastor John and the Master's Seminary. Here's your video from today. I'm going to play a couple of your clips, and then I'm going to have some comments on them, and I hope that you appreciate this because some folks have been doing some work behind the scenes, or apparently we're public, but not public to you. So I wanted to bring these things to your attention. So here's your video from, today's the 28th. This is from yesterday.
And their excommunication of a woman who ended up being a victim of abuse. What really went on there? Is this reporter, Julie Roys, who first came out with this expose, is she just unfairly targeting Grace Community Church? Or is there some truth there that we really need to discuss and understand? And then we are also going to talk about...
Okay, so I took some time to show you her website and what she's been doing. Later on at the 3-minute mark, you say this.
But then I read it and I was really disturbed because there's a lot of detail. There's a lot of seeming corroboration in this particular story. And then I went to Twitter and I wanted to see if the people that I respect and even the people I disagree with were talking about this, or if this really just was, some propaganda from some rag that just needed to be dismissed and was completely fabricated. And I was actually disturbed, not first by what people on the other side of the political aisle or theological aisle were saying about this, but what some people on my side of the political and theological were saying about this. Really kind of just like making fun of this person, Julie Roys, dismissing this, kind of proverbially rolling their eyes or almost laughing at this, and just basically calling it gossip and calling her a gossip. And I was really disturbed by that because of some of the details that I'm going to talk to you about.
So let me say this, Allie. I am 100% in your theological camp. I am 100% in on the doctrines of grace and extremely conservative. And I have never heard you say, well, I almost agree with everything that you have said. So you and I are in the same camp, and we're both on Twitter, but you don't follow me. And there's a bunch of people. There's a few people who have taken this story seriously. When the article came out, even though Julie Roys has a long history of writing anything she could drum up negative about John MacArthur, and titling things and writing things in such a way as to put it in the worst light as possible. We have taken it seriously, and we have addressed it differently. Now, I understand that you're probably not aware of us because We don't have 300,000 followers on Twitter. We don't have big platforms like you do. And that's why I'm making this video, to show you what we have done and what we have discovered. So before I get to that, let me go to the next clip of yours here.
Here's the deal. The allegations of abuse here are very serious. What later came out, because he wasn't convicted until 2005, what later came out was heinous stories of abuse. They were heinous stories of abuse, very serious.
Yes, very, very serious. That's why many of us have addressed it, talked about it, and some of the other stories that Julie Roys writes about, where John MacArthur lives, or his prosperity gospel. You even address that, or what kind of watch he wears. We don't address those, but we address this story specifically. Now, here is the last clip that I'm going to share from you. This is your closing statements from yesterday about John MacArthur.
I don't have some grand conclusion, some like grand clarity to offer you here. There's so much, again, that we don't know. I don't want you to think I'm ignoring this, but it's hard for me to talk about a conversation if I don't feel like I can add clarity to it. And because this is so confusing, because it's muddled with different kinds of history of pettiness and dislike and all of that, and even politics, it's hard to bring anything edifying to the conversation. So I just wanted you to know I'm not ignoring it. I take these kind of allegations of abuse very seriously, while still believing that the ministry and the church of John MacArthur has had an amazing impact for the gospel. So,
okay, so appreciate you saying that. And there was a clip. I guess I didn't grab it. You did take clear issue with Julie Roy's title of her article, saying that it was misleading and it shouldn't have been titled the way it was. Now, Julie Roy's article came out. Boy, let me look at when it came out. Her article came out, the one in question right here. It came out March 17th. March 17th, her article came out today. So March, April. It's been 6 weeks since that came out, and you're addressing it now. But really, I think the first person that addressed it publicly was me. And this is from March 20th, just 3 days after the article came out. This is my video on BTWN News. It has 110,000 views on it. Obviously, you didn't see it. You went on Twitter. There's a lot. The internet is a big space, okay? And there are people who have taken that article seriously and addressed it. I was the first one to do it, but I wasn't the one who has done it as well as somebody else. Here is 3 days later on March 23rd. This is Protestia, which is a tremendous blog on the internet, protestia.com. And this is David Morrill, dismantling the lies of Julie Roy's attack on John MacArthur. Link to my video and this video and the final video will be in the description of this video. So please, hey, Allie and your audience, your entire audience, if you want clarity on what's going on with Julie Roys and her charges against John MacArthur, watch the videos that are in the description of this video, and I'll try to put them above my head here in the next few moments so that you can watch my video, David Morrill's video, dismantling the lies of Julie Roys. And I think David did a better job than I did, and I think that this guy did a better job than both of us. And this is John, I forget his last name, but John MacArthur and the Gray Situation. John Harris is his name. And this is his YouTube channel, Conversations That Matter. 75,000 people have watched his video. It's 2 hours long. If you're concerned at all about Julie Roy's attacks and that article that she wrote about David Gray and what happened with Grace Community Church, my video is 26 minutes long. David's video is 41 minutes long. And for a thorough investigation, Here's Conversations That Matter by John Harris. That one's almost 2 hours long. Watch those videos if you have any concerns at all. Julie Roys actually right now is in the midst of her own scandal. She wrote a book in 2017, and she encouraged people to read it, which was a mistake. And now she's in the midst of her own scandal of spiritual abuse. Some people who are survivor blog advocates on the Twitter are claiming that Julie Roys is actually guilty of sexual abuse. So she's pulled her book from her website. She's pulled her book from her website, and she doesn't promote it anywhere, but it's still available. And she made a quasi kind of apology, but not publicly on her website, only on Twitter. So Twitter is a funny place, as we all know. Things that happen on Twitter are bizarre and crazy. But Julie Roys in the midst of her own scandal right now in regards to her actions with that she wrote about in her book. So, Allie Beth Stuckey, I hope you watched this. I kept it as short as possible. Any questions? Yeah, you can DM me on Twitter. I follow you on Twitter. Lots of information. I just wanted to let you know that it's out there. There are people who are in your theological camp, Allie, who have taken it very seriously and have really dug into the article and the supporting documents and come up with a very different truth that the one that Julie paints. All right. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, please do. And until next video, may God bless each and every one of you. Take care. See you.